Skeleton Crew on Disney Plus has now concluded. Let's talk about my thoughts on the show. First of all, I was very excited to get an original story, something we haven't really seen in Star Wars before, and I really loved the aspect of it that kind of felt like I was watching an old adventure movie from the 80s like The Goonies. I also loved how similar it was to Treasure Planet, which I think is one of the most underrated treasure Disney movies of all time. They definitely did a good job of making it feel familiar in a galaxy that we're very familiar with, but still feel different than what we've seen in Star Wars before. The children had great chemistry together. Jude Law is fantastic. I loved his character. I loved how much you wanted to trust him but knew you couldn't, and I loved how he fulfilled every feeling you had about him. But this show is not a perfect show by any means. It's not going to be in the top of anyone's Star Wars rankings, but it's also not going to be at the bottom of anyone's Star Wars ranking. This is the lowest viewed Disney Plus Star Wars show that's been released, and honestly, I don't really feel like that's warranted, but I'm not surprised by it. Not really a whole lot there that is appealing to the Star Wars fan base. This show was really just watched by those who still love and trust Star Wars. As much as I disagree with it, a lot of people did step away from the franchise after The Acolyte, and this show doesn't really offer much to bring them back in. Like I said, it does stand alone away from anything we've seen from Star Wars, but that can be a blessing and a curse. Ultimately, I like the story. I love their pacing. I just didn't love how it necessarily ended. It kind of felt abrupt and flat. I didn't really like how Jod ended for somebody who was so desperate and really played his desperation. He did just kind of settle. Of course, we didn't see him get arrested. We didn't see him die. We didn't see anything. So who knows what happened to Jod, really. But again, I did feel like the ending of the story was very abrupt. I would probably give Star Wars Skeleton Crew a 6.5, 7 out of 10. It's not a failure by any means, but it's not above average either. It is just an average show. Probably would be better in a binge format. I, for one, don't like the week-by-week release schedule. I know a lot of shows are back to doing that again. Personally, I think stories like this are better when you can binge through them and you don't have to anticipate anything that's really not going to bring you anything worth anticipating. But I recognize that this show has a ton of potential to be somebody's favorite Star Wars show, and it would be deserved. Like I said, the show is a lot of fun. Let me know what you thought about Star Wars Skeleton Crew. My name is Berkan. This is day 29 of 100 straight days of posting brand new videos on YouTube. Be sure to like this video and sub if you love Star Wars.